Remember when title screens would change based on what level you're in?
Oh, that's a trend I wish would come back.
I actually had to do some editing around this because you can't do that the first time you play this level. It's only when you save and quit. Yeah, conventional reason doesn't work with Yakuza. It only works if you give them a sob story with really sappy organ music and explain exactly why your crimes are actually emotionally motivated, and then they'll forgive you the instant you do that.
And conventional reason doesn't work with Yakuza.
But you let him go.
And now we're going to have a useful conversation. It's turned out quite nicely.
So, as we see here, Lara is infiltrating a high society party.
Lara, I got a call from Nishimura. He's in his office, so he won't be mingling. The bartender will hook you up with him, though.
Ever predictable.
Oh boy, that is 2006 video game dancing.
Lara, as you can see, has a very clever disguise. She has disguised herself as a conventionally attractive white woman with giant breasts. This is a little outside of her wheelhouse, acting-wise, but I think she can pull it off.
Not exactly turning any heads.
Well, I mean, that's because these NPCs have not been programmed with a turn head animation. They have not been programmed for lust. Although there is one NPC in this room that does have special animations. It's my favorite NPC in the whole game. This guy right over here.
Oh. Oh no.
You know what? I'm not going to judge him. He is living his best life. You do you. I mean, that's the problem when you're in a party in a video game from 2006 and there's only like 12 people. Someone's going to get left out. And you know what? He's having a good time.
Good evening. I believe Nishimura-san is expecting me.
Ah, Lady Croft. He is in his office down the hall behind you. I will let him know you're coming.
Thank you.
I played this level a lot when I was 16. I have no idea why this particular level appealed to me so much.
I can't imagine.
Complete mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on, don't give us that look. We've all been dumb, horny teenagers at one point.
Welcome, Lara. You have been enjoying my little party.
Totemo tanoshindeimasu, Nishimura-san.
And speaking of Yakuza, or Yakuza 0, here is a massive man. Look at this guy.
Inconvenience.
Take care. He is a very dangerous man when his interests differ from yours.
You'd be amazed how persuasive I can be, even with dangerous men.
I am convinced. I am dangerous too, you remember.
I also seduce the man I want
Enjoy
gone
the
in my
party while
life.
You can, and good luck.
Lordy. Okay.
Now, I want to emphasize I did not add this, what happens at the start of this cutscene. That's in the game. That record scratch.
Be brief, Miss Croft. I have many demands on my time, you understand.
On the other hand, I definitely did add this. I couldn't resist.
Takamoto-san, I am looking for a piece, a sword fragment, in the care of Waseda University, or it was until you stole it.
I am not.
Fun fact, Waseda University actually does have a very well-renowned archaeology department.
Accusations.
Then I suggest we skip to the negotiations.
So they did
Don't have any
5 minutes of
idea
research
what
on
you're
this.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Of course.
I mean, it was 2006. They still had Google.
Miss Croft, are you deaf?
I don't know. Let's see. Try begging for your life like you did the last time we spoke.
Oh, she's gonna have to run and gun in those heels.
Well,
Never
maybe not
mind.
the heels. We're gonna have to change this dress a bit. So this fight is actually pretty easy most of the time, however, even on hard. But the thing is, I really wanted to show off the context-sensitive kill where you drop a high-definition TV on someone's head. And because of that, what should have been a very straightforward fight, even on the hardest difficulty, this took like 20 minutes just to set this up. The gunplay also has a weird rhythm to it where, because Lara's pistols have infinite ammo, and unless you've already finished a fight, ammo can be pretty scarce, because there's not a lot of pickups. So that ends up meaning that, you know, there's a lot more emphasis on using your pistols in general.
Where'd you get those?
Basic etiquette. Never arrive at a party empty-handed.
Takamoto has no
I think
doubt
Zip
that
has a very valid question
follow
there.
him.
There's absolutely no way she could have hidden those pistols underneath the body-hugging dress that she was wearing to the party.
And she was carrying a purse for about 2 seconds.
How
So,
do I get to the roof?
Are you saying that both the pistols and the holsters were in her purse?
I mean,
cautious. There is
no
a-
pockets on women's dresses. They gotta have pretty deep
I
purses.
don't know about this, Lara.
Well,
That's
it's
why we have to
like
keep
a wise woman once said, women have more hiding places than men.
Nishimura, pass to the lift, and I'm on my way.
Barefoot. She is barefoot in
Oh,
a
yeah.
high-rise.
We are doing the entire rest of this level barefoot.
John McClane would like a word.
Well, this is immaculate Japanese design. We're not going to be seeing any broken glass. While I do appreciate the attention to detail of being able to shoot off the wine bottles and glasses, because of the aiming, it's not exactly center, even with the cursor. So Lara was just missing wine bottles repeatedly at point-blank range.
That explains why the villains keep getting away, you know?
Okay, so, flashing light warning coming up here. Turn away if you're photosensitive.
What the hell?
So, what you just saw, it's safe to look, by the way. I'll explain that in a minute, but first of all, we have another piece of product placement to ogle.
Another Ducati.
That's a mechanism.
Yes, a mechanism. That's one way of putting it, Lara. So, oh right, there's the piece of dialogue I forgot to trigger here.
Odd place for a bike. And a nice one, too.
Huh. Well, it's a crime to keep a bike like that locked up on a roof.
Now, we could shoot the glass there, but we're going barefoot, so Lara doesn't want to have to walk through that.
Lovely photo in the background.
Yeah, I don't think any of these are real advertisements, but whoever did the texture work here in the background did a great job.
Hmm.
All right, that building across the street, that's Takamoto's.
He's likely to be on the top.
So, concerning
going to
the,
require some creativity.
whatever the hell that was that we saw about a minute or two ago, that has to do with the textures, the way that the next-gen textures are applied.
Okay.
I don't think this walkway gets much foot traffic. Terribly inconvenient. But I may be able to make use of it.
So the way that textures, the new game, or next-gen textures, they are... It's not like Halo Reach, or no, not Halo Reach.
It's not a
Not like
party
Halo
until something
Anniversary,
gets broken.
where you can swap between two different sets of textures on the fly. The next-gen textures are actually placed directly on top of the old ones.
Aha.
So what
Okay.
you saw earlier when we were in the elevator in that cutscene, that was not a lighting glitch. That was not anything related to that. That is actually Zed fighting. Because the two textures are on exactly the same plane. You can see it on those signs in the background. It's happening again.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were ever curious as to what Zed fighting was, well, that's what it is. It's two textures that are fighting for dominance on the same area of the map. And this is our artifact for the level. It is, of course, a Buddha.
Yep.
But I don't know this for sure, but I believe it is not just based on any old depiction of Buddha. If I'm correct, which is possible, this is actually based on the Daibutsu, also known as the Great Buddha, a statue in the Jodoshu Buddhist temple in Kamakura. It is one of two giant Buddha statues that are officially listed in Japan's national treasures.
Wait, press the Y button to use?
Yeah, we can't leave a nice bike like that locked up on the roof. We're gonna use it eventually.
Once we raid this tomb, you know.
I mean, if you consider this the hyper-capitalist state of 21st century Japan, you could say that this is a tomb for the common worker. So this is a Ducati 999.
True.
It is a type of speed bike that was only really in use in the mid-2000s. It was quickly obsoleted like around 07 or 08. It's more of a racing bike. It did kind of make a scene in like the competitive motorcycle racing scene, but that's about it.
Listen to that. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds.
Be careful out there. There's more road far below than there is up top.
You gotta love Lara going over the numbers. I wonder how much she was paid for this product placement. It's like you don't pay Crystal Dynamics, you make out the check to Lara Croft specifically.
Well.
Don't ever do that again.
Not on that bike, I won't.
Technically correct. The best kind of correct. I don't know Japanese very well, but I do recognize that last sign is an N symbol. But I'm pretty sure that this is all just fictional stuff they made up. Like, we're core design were British, and Crystal Dynamics, I think, are based in San Francisco. So, yeah, of course, there's always going to be a white-centric view on these kinds of things. But that is also, admittedly, part of the appeal. This is a modernization of the old two-fisted tales. And as we'll see here, Lara does not care about any civilian damage or destruction of property. She just killed a family of 3.
The airplane better look out. She's gunning for its job.
Oh, you know that airplane is going to come back. Most of this level is, platforming suspended above the city. And I like this as it's essentially a way to add more grapple set pieces and seesaw physics, that kind of thing. Gonna go back into the Resident Evil 4 camera.
Got a cool layout to it.
Yeah, it does. And this one is basically scripted. Like, Crystal Dynamics knew what the implications were here. They almost scripted it that way. Yes, we will throw the grapple at shimmering objects. I'm too busy getting hyped up over the new Elise album. And I mentioned a while ago that the button prompts aren't always clear on the magnetic grapple swing, and that turning corners in this level can be much trickier than it should be if you don't realize that you can just press A again instead of having to press X.
Conveniently broken handrail.
Here's another semi-stealth sequence where if you know exactly where to go, you can kind of ambush the enemies. I also mentioned before that I think I mentioned before when we were fighting the Jaguar that there are some particular moves that you cannot use on animal enemies. The adrenaline mode vault is one of them, along with I think the grapple doesn't work on them either.
Okay, it gets worse from here. This is like a Yakuza factory.
Then let's see about shutting it down.
Oh, so we are at RGG Studio headquarters then. I mean, who knows? This could be Kabukicho that we're in right now. We can't quite see the buildings enough to figure out whether this is actually a red light district.
So when he says it's a Yakuza factory, what is it, like drugs, knockoff wallets, or does it just make more Yakuza?
How about all the above?
Oh!
Just make sure to look out for a guy with an eye patch hiding under a giant traffic cone.
Ha!
It's not like they don't know you're there.
You'll see them when I do.
See, this is their front. Every Yakuza has, you know, a legitimate business they use as a front for their activities.
Yakuza lipstick.
Yeah,
okay.
Yakuza lipstick, of course. And it's not just lipstick. You could use anything when you need to color something red. Getting this artifact is actually surprisingly tricky, and I think it just has to do with the slipperiness of the controls. There were multiple takes where I just could not make that last jump over there and jumped straight down.
Yeah, that didn't look like fun platforming.
Unfortunately, there really wasn't a good spot for making a better editing transition. Like, there have been in previous Let's Plays, I have done some edits that are that I'm very proud of that no one has realized are essentially seamless. But I am happy with how this Let's Play turned out, but it was not because of the seamless edits.
I don't even think I know where some of your edits are.
Neither do I. I've forgotten them.
Looks like there's no way out.
There's always a way, Zip.
You could probably guess what we're meant to do here. But there are some artifacts to collect first. This is technically a new mechanic, I guess. Artifacts hiding in lockers. We're going to see that come up again a few times. And I don't know. This Yakuza lipstick factory, ever since they went public, I mean, look at those stock numbers.
Bleeding money here, fellas.
That's not what you're supposed to be bleeding. Don't bleed the money. Around the time I was recording this footage, I was doing commission work for a family friend of cataloging some of their artwork, and it was remarkable just how similar some of that abstract work looked to what I was working on in real life at the time. Also, for some reason, there's a computer monitor with a security camera feed of this room. I don't know. They take workplace sabotage very seriously around here. Don't try to kick that, Lara. It will not end well for you. Nope, we're out of. Oh, okay, yeah, we're out of range.
She's never cared for TV much. She did them a favor. Maybe now they'll read a book for a change.
Alistair, considering you're the kind of guy who spends a lot of time on whatever the 2006 version of Reddit is, I don't think you have any right to call out people for not reading books.
There could be more out there, Lara. Do be careful.
What a lovely evening to be outside.
Uh-oh. You know what that means. I'll get the diamond hydronate.
You can tell that this is going to be a difficult section because even the textures are shaking in anticipation.
Oh my god, yes.
This is by no means the worst that this game gets in terms of the Z fighting issues with the next gen and previous gen textures. As I mentioned before, in the next video will be the level that crashes 100% of the time unless you apply a fan patch. So just the fact that I could actually get through the entire game at all with this is a minor miracle. Well, it does run surprisingly well on modern systems. Like, you don't really need to do that much tweaking. Another small bit of jank. You have to use the accurate aim to grab that particular piece, even though the object is right in front of you, and Lara should be locking onto it immediately.
Look at her go. Right up the side of the building.
Please don't look down.
Heights don't bother me, Alistair.
They make me positively nauseous. Like I told her in Bolivia.
I'll try my best to keep my chin up, but I do need to concentrate, if you don't mind.
This is also why I don't really mind Zip and Alistair as characters, because even Lara gets sick of their shit on occasion. It is a clever character dynamic, is what I'm saying. It is not just there to make you, the player, feel like an idiot.
Hurry up, Lara, it's not gonna hold.
The game really wants you to have those synchronized movements, but it's just there's no point. And they didn't really bring it back. Like even the later games, like Anniversary and Underworld, they don't really emphasize the press button in time with the animations thing either. I am trying so hard to make the stealth work in this game. The stealth that does not technically exist. Yeah, as you can see there, the targeting is very generous. Like, I wasn't even really aiming at that other guy, but, you know, because I locked on and because the reticle was red, it counted anyway. Which it definitely makes the gameplay, or the gunplay specifically, feel a lot more energetic, because the game cheats in your favor as much as it does the enemies.
Some of the gunplay looks really fun.
It can get frustrating at points, but I do agree that there's more positives than negatives. See, if this game was made today, there would be some quip about Lara hating modern art. And I would agree with her. Well, for the most part. If you're playing this game, don't waste the shotgun ammo. It's really rare. Just use your pistols. Alright, I forgot. In one of these lockers, there's another artifact. There it is. This, on the other hand, is completely justified. You can waste all the ammo you want on those. Now here is technically the last puzzle of the level.
You smell a trap?
I do. Be careful.
over there, that's a big-ass turret.
That's something I could move.
And that is something Lara can move. So we're going to have to find a way to get past that turret. Unlike every other puzzle in the game, there are actually 2 completely different solutions.
Oh, Duke Nukem style security camera feed.
Yep. Really, the only thing there is to show off that hidden cache of weapons. So, solution number 1 to this puzzle.
What's that? It's more modern art than archaeology, in this context at least. As lovely as that is, don't you think it's a little big to bring home by yourself? Just let the lady work, buddy.
So, solution number 1 is to use this abomination of modern art as a shield.
Now that's art with form and function.
So that's one way to get around it. There is a completely different solution to this puzzle.
Made it. How bad you hit?
I've been better. Let's not do that again. Yes. You smell a trap.
I do. Be careful.
Oh.
Now, think about like what could trigger the turret like that. You know, because we walk forward. There is a grid of security lasers down here.
Oh, so there's a path you can walk.
There is a path. Well, it's not so much a path as much as it is, you know, lasers turning on and off. And we can do the obligatory 2000s security laser dance. It's not an instant game over if you trigger the lasers, but it might as well be. It is possible to avoid it.
The needle. Way to move, Lara.
You should not have come here. This is my province, not one of your rotten little tombs.
Tell me about the sword, Takamoto.
What about it? What is it that fascinates you, Miss Croft?
Let me have a look at it and I'll tell you.
Your persistence will be the death of you.
I get the feeling that fight was supposed to be harder than it is. And, well, yeah, I kind of lied before. One last puzzle, technically speaking, if you consider using physics. I guess that's kind of a puzzle. I mean, it was something that I got stuck on when I played this many years ago. So perhaps I'm giving this I'm not giving this enough credit. You just use the grapple.
There's so much more broken glass in this level than you promised.
It's scripted broken glass, though. It's not going to hurt Lara. Because it was all in cutscenes. So the gold artifact is actually here, next to the weapons cache, which I'll grab because the boss fight coming up, you do not want to bring a shotgun to that. It's basically useless. But the last gold artifact is in this safe.
Oh, now how are we gonna get that open?
Also, really like the detailed work on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, your earlier question, how indeed are we going to get this safe open? Perhaps through the power of the Havoc physics engine. There we go.
Well, not much of a safe.
Turns out the combination code was actually just gravity.
Obligatory elevator side boob.
A cliche that we invented just now, and I'm sure applies to everything. I also really like that the Lara's flashlight always activates during cutscenes if you have it open. It's great.
You have disrespected me. You have broken into my house. You have killed my men.
I've simplified your payroll. And now, if you don't mind, I'll streamline your inventory.
You speak of this? It is the most prized of my collection.
And why is that?
I am fond of recovering objects from dead Englishmen. In this case, one of your crusaders. Some have even said the warmonger was one of your King Arthur's knights. I do not know how the fool came by it, for it is clearly far older than the 11th century, when your people lived in huts of mud.
And for this reason, you'd rather die than hand it over.
No. For this one!
Oh!
So this is the big magic gimmick that all the bad guys are fighting over. Just the ability to basically, you know, use the beam of the Master Sword.
You're a fool! Come here! Do you understand this talk? The artifact.
It actually is pretty difficult to avoid, especially the horizontal attacks that come later. In terms of its patterns and the pattern recognition, it does kind of feel like a Crash Bandicoot fight at points. But really the hardest part when you're first playing this game is just getting up to this upper floor. Because if you don't know where you're going, those turrets will absolutely destroy you.
Your foolishness! You're a fool! Come here! You will not have I satisfied your curiosity now? It's time to double!
Really, my only complaint about this fight is that there was no scene where we actually see him take his jacket off. Like, he went shirtless off screen,
Is it all right?
which I find very disappointing as a long-time Yakuza fan.
I did.
Shimura's got a chopper outside waiting for you.
Excellent. Tell him he's my new favorite person.
In other words, my new favorite people are all completely interchangeable. Whoever can help me the most at any given time.
We've just destabilized the Yakuza and enabled this guy to go ahead and take over the illicit lipstick business.
Oh yeah, someone's got to have a monopoly on it.
To find you here.
I am relieving myself too.
I forgot about that. That's another good line.
It depends on whether he was naughty or nice.
We've got a line on James Rutland, by the way. Want to go together?
Absolutely.
Oh right, I forgot there's another villain in this story. I was having too much fun destabilizing the organized crime in all of Japan, apparently. Okay, so I guess pistol upgrades is it's almost an invisible thing where depending on how many of the artifacts that you've collected, you will just magically have upgrades to the dual pistols. I think there's damage, range, and magazine capacity. To the point where by the final level, there's basically no reason to use anything else.
Which is nice, because you expect her to be using the pistols. I mean, it's a signature thing, right?
It is very clear, particularly with there's one weapon later on, which is functionally useless despite looking cool, just because of the way that it interacts with the other properties of the game world. We'll see that in a couple of videos yet, but yeah, next video is where we are going to Ghana, and some of the best visuals in the entire game, and also some of the worst Zed fighting when it comes to the next generation texture update.
Oh, I love the jank in this.
It's this is certainly a special era of video game history, and I am glad to be showing off the incredibly obscure game that is Tomb Raider.